Sagittarius, this is your July 24 soul story. If you have a sun rising or your moon is in the sign, I hope this reading is going to help you and enable you to navigate the next few weeks. We are going to open up with the energy of the Seven of Fire for you. And, you know, there's an intensity to Cancer season when it's 8th house for sure. The overwhelming sensitivity does require us to inner parent ourselves, I think, through the season. You may feel like you've got a lot coming at you, but I think the thing to remember, you know, is that your way is a blend of many things. It's where you've been inspired, what you've been taught, what's been revealed to you, what's guided you. So trying to fit the mold of how someone else has done it, trying to follow a path that doesn't feel quite like it's your path, you know, isn't really landing anymore. And so what's being asked of you at the beginning of the month is to sort of address the things in your world from a perspective of, you know, what would the version of me that's accumulated all of these experiences, you know, but wants to kind of bring forth an essence, like something that's resonant for me, like what would that version of me do? And that's going to really help you. So we're not saying like don't take counsel and advice from people that can be beneficial and supportive through the month, because that will always, you know, serve you. But, you know, you still have to come to your own conclusion. And if we are facing challenges, and this, by the way, absolutely indicates that you're overcoming those challenges, you know, you've got what it takes, you'll do what you need to do, you'll dig deep and you'll find the strength to overcome any adversity, or more importantly, because this is what's really coming through, is like navigate the complexity, because I think there's something about a situation being really complex. So you might not necessarily be able to deploy kind of the usual tactics or the tools that, you know, would have enabled you to mitigate something. You know, this requires a little bit more delicacy and sensitivity. And, you know, we've got Neptune stationing retrograde from the beginning of July. So what it's doing is dissolving and stripping back, like the rose tinted glasses come off, and then we're sort of left with, you know, the kind of bones of something. And, you know, that can be helpful and cathartic and honest and quite raw. You know, it can have felt like some of the bubble got burst, but it puts us in a place where perhaps we have more realistic expectations about the here and now. And, you know, this is a journey that isn't about seeking eternal positivity. It's about seeking profound self-acceptance to deal with the whole range of emotions that emerge in this very human experience that we're all having, right? So whatever it is that you're coming up against, and you look at the reality of it in the here and now, you're then kind of able, with more stoicism and more courage, I think, to kind of bring it, like whatever it takes. There is always, I said, you know, with the number 8 year going to be, you know, an element of sort of, this is going to take some hard work, or this is going to take some effort. And that's okay, because I think in the doing of that, you're also sort of shaping and honing your capacity to be more adaptable and more resilient. Now, the new moon arriving in Cancer on the 5th is also inviting you to consider, you know, where is the connectedness in my life? You know, I want to bond. I want to feel that intimacy. I want to create conditions where, you know, it feels more authentic and real for me. So you might find that you're wanting to create smaller circles that have a stronger basis of heart energy. Your high priestess tells you, you know what, you're absolutely on the right track with regards to something. If you see something coming in on the horizon and you're like, I think that might be an issue, then you're on the money with this. If you also get a feeling of something like, I think this could work, yeah, so in and around that 5th of the month, like really pay attention to how you're being guided and directed by your inner voice, how your higher self is supporting you, because it's really going to be something that is going to, you're almost going to be so glad that you listened and you tuned in, okay? We also have the asteroid goddess Pallas Athena stationing direct in Scorpio on the 9th of the month. Now, remember, Pallas Athena is directing a new strategy for us. We're bringing all of our wisdom to bear, and in Scorpio, there's this kind of rebirth, transformative experience going on. And I think what has served you at one point may not, it may no longer be the thing that's going to work or going to enable you to get to where you need to be. So this very inward reflection that's coming through in the month of July is also going to be incredibly powerful as you apply it with that asteroid goddess energy. So again, pay attention to the 9th of the month, because a new plan could be formulating around that time. You might also want to really connect with somebody that there's a deep trust or bond that's already been forged, okay? Because doing it alone, or the awareness of where isolation has started to kind of surface for you, and that could be in relation to your friendships, to a team at work, to your family, to your partner, to your children, even with yourself. So where you feel disconnected, I think you're reaching out, or there's an awareness of who you need to surround yourself with from an energy perspective, to really kind of bring about and foster that heart energy, so that you feel understood and seen and part of something. I think that's going to be really important in the month of July. Now, where we look at the High Priestess and the Hermit coming together, like really powerful energies kind of coalescing to provide like cosmic downloads and wisdom for you that are helping you to understand like and connect the dots with something. You know, we're in a really strong karmic period right now. What are the lessons? What are the things that you've been shown over and over again? You know, don't turn away, like address these within yourself, because this is the route, this is the road, this is the path forward for you. This is why you're here. It's deeply and intimately connected to your purpose as well. So the combination of these two might also show up by way of counsel, mentorship, important advice that you gain from people who do inspire you, or that you seek counsel and wisdom. But ultimately, again, remember what I said, you know, you still have to find your way through that. So it's about being receptive and open and listening, and then making it deeply personal and bringing meaning to it through how you then want to apply that. And there's very much this energy in July of like, how do I apply this? How do I integrate this? How do I embody this? Yeah. Now through mid-month, we've got some lighter energy with Venus shifting into Leo on the 11th, Mars into Gemini on the 20th. You know, there's quite a flirtatious vibe here. There's this sense of kind of passion being ignited. It brings a charm offensive through. That can be really helpful, especially if you're dealing with people that have got real victim mentality going on here. It's like you can talk people out of that energy. You can be quite witty, you can be quite open and expressive and bring a warmth to the table and energy to the room. And I think that's going to be super, super helpful, especially, you know, where Ten of Air feels like it's almost like it's hopeless. This is a lost cause. Like there's something here that like I'm not going to be able to resurrect, you know, I can't get this back on track. Or again, if you're coming up against that energy from somebody else, if you're feeling into it yourself, if you feel a little bit hopeless, or that, you know, why me, why is this happening, what's going on in regards to this, do understand again that that wisdom, that counsel, that advice and that deeper knowing is coming through very powerfully for you to help support you with that. But the 10 also indicates to us that there's a kind of turning of the page, there's a new chapter, and there's a finality to drawing a line under something. Now we've got the full moon in Capricorn, the second one arriving on the 21st, right? The first one happened back in June, right around solstice on the 21st, and we're kind of held in place between these two full moons as the revelations kept coming about, you know, what we were trying to attain, achieve, the milestones, the goals, the mountains that stood before us, what we had to let go of in order to be able to embark upon that journey and scale that mountain, right? So here we have the second full moon arriving and the time for a sort of final letting go. And perhaps that's sort of something you've been working with for some time. There's been an awareness of, you know, this was toxic, this was a responsibility that was too much, this was the wrong approach. Something landing in a very clear way, the signposts from the universe showing up very powerfully for you around that time, saying, okay, enough now. You know, if we're going to really get to where we need to be, if we're going to get on the right side of our own journey at the moment, then this is what it's going to take. And I see you listening. I see you paying like full attention, you know, around that time. particularly, you know, with Capricorn energy at that full moon. Remember, it's sort of looking at your own sense of value. It's your second house, so there might be a lot going on for you with regards to your prosperity consciousness, especially with the 8th house of Cancerian season. So quite a lot of money themes coming up for you, where your money comes from, how you work with your money, what your feelings are about it at this moment in time, and a lot of new inspiration coming through for you if you can get past your own limitation, your own story, your own almost block, if you like. So I feel like we've got this really interesting kind of crossroads moment coming through around that full moon, just before we move into Leo season, and that 9th house. It kind of, you know, it takes you deep with something, don't get me wrong. Like, I feel like there's a slight discomfort in accepting or owning or coming to terms. Nonetheless, you know, what we're seeing here with this 9 of fire is there's a perseverance being asked of you. It's like, can you just hold on? Can you just push through? Can you kind of follow this all the way? And there may be something that you've been like trying and you've gotten so far, like time and time again, and then for whatever reason you've just not been able to kind of take it to the next level. There's that sort of feeling that's also emerging around July for you. This is the time, I think, with the support of that full moon, that you're able to do that. Now, there might also be an exhaustion or a weariness that's coming through. That feels more connected to perhaps somebody that's coming at you with that 10 of air. You may be inclined to want to kind of really break off something or announce something is over, or if somebody's done it to you, there's an exhaustion because perhaps you've heard it before. You know, maybe this is a bit like you know, the kind of, I don't know, it's just like I'm playing this again and again and again. I keep saying I'm going to do it, and it's like it never really follows through. So I think there's an exhaustion again to sort of hear that from somebody coming up in this month of July. As we move into Leo energy from the 22nd, right, there's like a burst of almost what I want to say determination that comes through for you. You've got 5 of water here, and you know, it could be preceded by a sense of having been let down or disappointed by something, and then just going like, okay, like I've had enough of sort of having this type of experience, and you know, I honor it. I'm not trying to bypass it or ignore that it's happened, but nonetheless I'm not going to let it hold me back anymore, because I really see you sort of quite fired up as we move towards the end of July. And that also means, by the way, that you have to be quite careful about how you're conserving energy. So 9 of fire also tells me conserve your energy really well. Don't overstretch yourself or promise too much, because it feels to me like as you come toward the end of July, you're going to want to apply yourself or put a lot towards something, and you may well find that, oh gosh, there's not enough time or energy or resources in order to do that, okay? 5 of water, you know, also talks to us as we come toward the end of the month, and we'll see Chiron stationing retrograde in Aries. That, you know, the healing journey that we've been on is having another moment in the spotlight and sort of reminding us of how far we've come, and we owe it to ourselves to have a moment of acknowledgement in regards to that. Please take the time to really witness yourself, and even if you feel like you're still going through the same things or patterns have still shown up repeatedly, you yourself have changed like so powerfully that, you know, you have to kind of see how that response and the way in which you have been, maybe slowly but surely, but certainly moving progressively towards allowing that change or allowing that healing to kind of become a more permanent state for you, has actually shown up. This is really important. It matters ahead of August, because you want to kind of put something to bed, because there's so much like coming in for you over the next few weeks that want your time, energy and attention, that if you're still kind of harking back or feeling like bound or restricted by something from the kind of healing journey that feels unresolved, then it's almost like you don't fully appreciate, or you're not going to get to be able to show up with the gift and the true essence and everything that's going to help make what's about to enter into your life something really quite special, okay? There is this sense of sort of contradiction, you know, that I keep picking up through the month of July, whether you feel contradictory or a situation feels contradictory in nature. And sometimes we still just have to carry on regardless, like it's not clear, you know, we're trying to sort of make everything into a sense of like order, and it's just not happening. And it's because perhaps we're trying to look at it from a much more one-dimensional perspective. If we were able to access our higher mind right now, you know, we could appreciate the complexity of this and allow for that contradiction to play out, knowing that it's not going to stop us experiencing receiving the thing that we desire or what we're working towards, okay? Now, if you are new to the channel, our last 3 cards we cover in the extended version of the reading, so you can find that in the comment and description box underneath, Sagittarius. We talk for another 30 minutes or so. We'll also look at a personal card and a relationship card, so I hope you'll come on to that with me. It's a way for me to continue to show up for the free readings. I really value the investment. I'm going to go ahead and clarify this main reading and see the direction it's going to take us. We've got 3 of Swords, Knight of Swords here. High Priestess, we've got the Knight of Cups coming through. 3 of Cups. Hermit energy, we have the Queen of Wands and the 2 of Wands. Love that. What about this 10 of Air, Page of Swords? Another 9 of Wands, definitely exhaustion over someone or conversation that you feel like you keep having. King of Wands and Strength. Got Justice and the High Priestess. The Devil, the 10 of Wands, the World, the 4 of Swords. A Magician and Temperance. Okay, we're just going to look at Life Soul Vision, which is my own oracle deck. So if you're new to the channel, please check out my Sacred Soul Titles, which is my deck, my book, Moon Musings, and you can look at ways to work with me, and then all of the Sacred Soul support that I've put together to help you on your journey. We've got the New Moon, Deliberate Intention, Spirit Stag, Heavenly Timing, the Collective Heart, Mirrors of the Mind. We've got Waterfalls of White Light, Queen of Fire. Beautiful. Love that for you. Okay, we're going to look at one final oracle card for the month of July, Sagittarius. Let's see what wants to come through for you. We've got the energy of friendship showing up. We'll explore this more deeply in the extended. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to checking out next month with you. Bye.